Hello, it's Samudro of IMAP, Finding the Way to Yourself. And we have a question from Yulia, who was in our recent 5th chakra seminar. And there I was teaching about the correlation between Freudian concept and the chakras. That in Freud talked about 3 divisions of the psyche: the superego, the ego, and the id. Basically, it explains that the superego is the internalized voice of our parents and our society, the authorities of society, that when we were children were conditioned into us. And those voices tell us, do this, don't do that. You're a good child if you do this, and you're a bad child if you do that. You know, like that metaphor we often use about an angel on one shoulder and the devil on another. These are at the level, the shoulders are at the same level as the 5th chakra. So those voices we heard when we were a child and conditioned by the society, the teachers, the parents, were telling us, if you're good, do this. Now that voice has gone inside us. And why we say it's on the right shoulder? Because it's like the right side of the 5th chakra, saying you should, to be good, you must, you should. Or if you do something else, you're bad. And the devil on the left shoulder, of course, because especially if we're Christian, we've been conditioned that anything left or feminine is sinister, it's a bit evil, it's dangerous, like Eve is to blame for eating the apple, da-da-da-da. So in our masculine societies, right is right, left is a little bit evil or probably bad. So we have these 2 voices telling us all the time, do this, don't do that, or do this, have some fun. But then afterwards, this other voice says, oh, that was bad. Therefore, we feel guilt. So we also work with guilt in the 5th chakra seminar. So there are many, many concepts, and I have to try and keep it simple for this understanding for today. That the 5th chakra is connection to the Freudian superego. And it's also a dualistic voice, but mostly in our daily mind, we hear it as this voice telling us, do this, don't do that. Now this relates to another concept, another therapy, which I do like to teach when possible, called inner voice dialogue. That we actually allow different parts of our self, our personality, to speak out. So before I continue on that, I'll just remind or just give instruction that the other 2 parts of the Freudian concept, the ego and the id, are similar to our 3rd chakra. For the ego, as the part of us that makes decisions, this is what I'm going to do, but it's also the part of us that controls ourselves, and often it controls the 1st chakra, the id. Actually, I do explain this a bit more detail usually, that it's not just first, 3rd and 5th chakra, it's the 1st and 2nd are the id, the 3rd and the 4th are the ego, and the 5th and the 6th are the superego. But that's a bit more detail, and I would have to explain that further sometime. So for now, let's just say chakras 1, 3, 5, id, ego, and superego. So if we accept this concept, then the next question is, how do we get those 3 parts of ourselves to be in harmony? So the method of inner voice dialogue is not saying that any one voice is correct and the others are not correct. It's to give equal space, time, attention to all parts of ourselves. So there are a few instructions in inner voice dialogue. I can't give you them all now, but I'll just try to summarize. That the idea is that any division of ourself, we can call a sub-personality. We have to forget the word sub, because each part believes, feels, experiences itself as a whole person. So the superego, when we're in the superego, thinks it's the whole of us. The id, when we're in our desires, believes this is all, this is the only part. So I'll try and give you a demonstration of how you can practice this exercise. Here I am in a kitchen, a dining room of an apartment. You can practice this at home. You just need 4 chairs or 4 positions. You can do it with cushions on the floor. I've even done this even on a train when I was in an empty compartment by myself, and I just sat in different positions on different chairs in the train. But that's okay. If you have this in your home, great, you can do it. So here I am, my first sitting position is the position of the whole self, right? So here you would speak out to yourself. What is your question? So I know that I'm going to give an example of, I know the person who's asked this question, and it's probably many people's question as well, is about marital fidelity, or if you're in a committed relationship, what happens if you have some feeling not to always be in the limitation of the decision to have monogamy. So if there's a desire for something else. Okay, so you could, it could be any question, but let's take this as a very hot, juicy question for many people. All right, so here I am, and I'll say, this is my question. I feel so much desire, but I also feel confusion, and I feel guilt if I feel that another person, apart from my beloved, my wife or husband, is, if I feel there's an opportunity, if someone else comes to me and wants to have connection with me, or maybe I'm dissatisfied in my relationship and I want to do something else, I want to have a bit more freedom, right? So even in that first description, you might even be able to detect different voices are saying different things. One part wants to have sexual connection with someone else. Another part says, no, that's not good. Another one says, no, I'm afraid, or I'm not sure, I don't know what to do. So let's say, okay, in this 4 chairs, I have one position for my whole self, another position for the id, or the first and second chakras, another position for the ego, 3rd chakra, maybe the 4th chakra, the one that's going to have to make decisions, or thinks it has to make decisions, and one for the superego, the 5th chakra, maybe the 6th chakra. So each has its own history, each has its own space in the whole self. If these are 3 parts of me, do I give them 33% each? Or do I listen to one 90% and the other 2 only 5% each? All right? That's another question, is how much space they normally have inside me. Then each needs to be allowed to express themselves completely, what they want for me, my whole self. Then we're going to add a 5th position later, which is the position of consciousness awareness, which would be beyond the personality. It's beyond the sub-personality, it's just the witness. And that's what makes the difference between the voice dialogue technique and the inner voice dialogue technique. We're adding consciousness awareness. All right, so let's say I'm here in the position of the whole self. I've spoken out a few minutes, my whole question, what is bothering me as a person. Then I'll feel which of those three positions I will need to go to. Right, so let me go first to the id, because it feels like I feel the pressure there. But when I go to this position, it's good to sit down and take a few moments to feel the energy. Okay, so it doesn't only have to be talking, it also could be moving. Sometimes the id wants to move the body. Maybe it's an emotional expression as well. And then you start to speak out, oh, I want to have more fun. Often it wants to express itself in words of I want. Okay. I want to have more fun, I want pleasure. I feel that I don't have enough pleasure, I feel too restricted. It's like some grandmother is shouting at me, no, don't do this. And I just want to have fun, I want to play, and I want to have more sensuous connection, and I want more massage, I want more physical touch, I want more kissing, I want more wonderful sex. And if I'm not getting it, if I feel I can't get it with my husband, my wife, I want anyone. And I want to feel that I want that satisfaction of wanting someone and then having my desire fulfilled. Yeah. Right? Now, okay, let's go over to another voice. I'll go opposite, actually, to the superego, or the fifth chakra, which is often a moral voice. No, you can't do that. No, no, no. You're like a wild animal. You can't just play around, fuck around. What about love, intimacy, commitment? You made a commitment, you made a promise. No, you must be a good husband and stay with your promise. Why we have monogamy in society? Because if everyone is fucking around everywhere, it's just chaos. Animals, then there's no difference between us and animals. You're just a wild, you can just, if you want to live like that, you should go be a bull, a cow, a bull, yeah, or a wild dog going around having sex with any other wild dog. You're just an animal, stupid. It's not moral, it's not civilized, it's just dirty, and you'll get sick. You want satisfaction, but you'll just get disease. Ugh, dirty, disgusting, right? Right. Okay, let's go around to the third one, the ego, or the third chakra. I don't know what to do. It's true, I made a promise, but now I don't know what to do. I really don't know. I don't have this pressure, and I have that pressure, and everyone's pressuring me, and it just drives me crazy. And sometimes I just want to escape from it all. No, I don't know. You are crazy, and you are just, you're mad. You're also crazy from the mind. You're a crazy animal, and you're crazy, just like from my parents, my mother, my grandmother. Oh, it's terrible. I don't know what to do. Okay. So then we'll go back to the first position, the position of the whole self. Right, now, normally in this practice we would have a therapist with us to help guide us. It would be, but you know, you have to be a sort of a therapist to yourself. And so, like, we go through the three voices one time, let each just express. Then we come back and go, okay, that's the way it is. It's a big mess. But I have to make some decision. I feel a little bit better now because I see all three of you what you want. All right, but still I feel not much clarity. I need a bit more insight. Right, so at this point now we can go to the position of awareness, consciousness. And that could be just standing up behind the position of the whole self. You just stand and watch. But actually, you know, conveniently I have an extra chair here. So, oh, this is even nicer. I have a more overview. Consider this is my whole self. And I just take a few minutes just to watch and witness. Not judge, not think, just look. Then I have a little bit of insight. So I'll come back and again feel, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, I need to listen to this voice more, but with a bit more. So this is the superego. Now the whole self is asking the superego, why is it giving these morals? What does it want as beneficial for my whole self? And basically the superego, although it's saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that, is saying, I want you to be safe. I want you to have a peaceful life, but a safe life. I want my whole self, Samudro, let's say, use my normal name, to have a harmonious life of peace. And this is the way I understand what I've been saying is don't follow your wild desires, is just, you know, chaos is not going to bring peace and harmony to life. So that's the way I understand it. But now, okay, right, but then I can hear the whole self is also making a comment, saying, thank you, superego, thank you, fifth chakra, but now do you understand that your voice was actually controlling and suppressing the id? And the more you control the id, the more it wants. When you say you shouldn't, it wants more. Okay? So we also have to consider that the id is not our enemy. The id, just like you, wants something good for my whole self. So I feel I need to listen to the id again. Right, so we go to the id. Oh, that's good. That feels good. It feels good that you're listening to me, that you don't just want to suppress me, that you know, I want pleasure in my life. And whether it's with my wife or with another girl, it's okay. I just want to have enjoyment and pleasure. And my whole self is full of joy. This is what I want to give you, or what I want in my life. What I want in my part, or my role in your life, is to give you full satisfaction and joy, relaxation and pleasure. Okay, so we come back again to the whole self, and I've listened to the superego and to the id, and I understand they both want something good, but they want something good in different ways. One wants peace and harmony, and one wants joy and pleasure. So why I feel I can't have both. All right, so I'm going to go back to the ego. Okay. So before I felt so much confusion, not knowing what to do and just wanting to escape. Now I feel a little bit easier. So I feel now more how I can make a decision is to trust. Now I know that one part of me wants, one part of you, Samudro, the whole self, wants peace and harmony, another part wants joy and pleasure, and it's my job to feel in this moment what is the right decision. And for that I feel I can focus on my heart, that this, instead of trying to control, this is right and that's wrong, or this is right and that is wrong, to feel, okay, in this moment, this is the direction. I feel good to be in the heart and to be able to trust that I don't have to live making decisions from the mind or from the desires, but I can live by making decisions from the heart, and that my heart will guide me. Okay, so I'll come back to the whole self and just listen to all, I've listened to all three voices, and I've heard how they want all something good for me. Now I can feel that they are all part of me, and they all have a necessary part. One wants pleasure, another part wants peace, another part feels that trust is the way to make decisions. And I feel that is that's the clearest answer I can come to. And then I can stick from, and I also can feel the observer is also part of me. And that whatever happens in my life, I can observe and learn from it. Okay, right, that's a quick lesson in a therapy, in a technique that usually takes many days to teach, but these are the essentials. I hope you can learn from this and try practicing it. And perhaps at the end of this video, you can also write your comments if you've had a practice and how it works for you. All right, good luck everyone.